Relevant memory recollection number 4, circa 1993. Meeting two people who didn't remember me. I had a Saturday job in the art centre, a picture framing and art material shop in Kelty. I started when I was 13 and worked there for 10 years. John Dodds, a local businessman, an amateur artist, started the art centre in 1985. I worked in the shop with 2 full-time employees who got alternative Saturdays off. Peter Dodds, the son of the owner, and Stig McCallum. At the time, Peter was an aspiring glam rock drummer with long, golden permed hair. Through working in the shop, Stig had become one of my best friends. He was always up for an adventure and had a penchant for organised violence. An adventure with Stig was to make a snap decision to set off in his car somewhere. We always had limited funds and time. The adventure would be suggested during our Saturday in the shop and start immediately at the end of our shift. We would hand in the day's takings, then, with as much haste as possible, we would have to do any or all of 4 possible tasks. 1. Fill the car with petrol. 2. Recruit 1 or 2 other adventurers. 3. Get a substantial amount of cannabis and relevant accoutrements. 4. Get something to eat. Usually sausage, chips and gravy for £2.50 from the Chinese takeaway in the neighbouring town of Cowdenbeath. We had a perfectly good Chinese takeaway in Kelty, but it didn't do sausages, chips and gravy for £2.50. We would set off either north or south, with only the vaguest of destinations in mind. We once tried to do a 30-hour visit to France, but we ended up at Alton Towers. On one particularly rainy Saturday afternoon, a couple of completely drenched children came into the shop. I recognised them immediately as Greg and Lisa, Jessie and Dave's kids. I hadn't seen them in well over a year. Jessie and the bairns had moved away about 18 months ago after Dave was found dead of a possibly accidental heroin overdose. "Hiya, what yous up to?" I asked. "We're out to see your gran," Lisa replied, as she and her brother looked at a display stand that was full of paint and interesting art materials. "Can I hae this?" she said, holding a tube of acrylic gel retarder. "Do you ken what it is?" I said. "No, what is it?" she quizzed, looking at the white and green tube. "It's to stop acrylic paint drying too fast. Acrylic paint dries really fast, so sometimes the artist needs it to stay wet longer on their palette or on the picture. Sometimes it helps, you ken," I explained. "Oh," she said uninterestedly, turning her back and picking up something else. "What about this?" she asked, holding up a plastic tray. "That's a palette. You've probably used something like that at school, to mix paint in." "No," she said. She turned her back again and laid the palette and tube of gel retarder randomly on the stand. I walked over and placed the items back in their correct places. She moved over to a rack of paintbrushes, followed by her brother. Each paintbrush was individually priced. This drew her attention. She started examining the brushes. "Fucking hell, 30 quid for a paintbrush?" she exclaimed loudly, making her brother smile. "Aye, they're no cheap," I told them. "Can I have this?" she asked, holding up the £30 paintbrush in question. "Do you like art?" "No." "Then why do you want it?" "Just cause." "Just cause what?" "I could sell it." "Who to?" "Dunno." "I'm sorry, but I can't let you hae anything unless you buy it." "What would you do if I just took it?" she threatened. "I'd lock the door and call the police." The conversation went on like this for a bit. All the while Greg remained silent, within a very close radius of his sister. She told me that they were locked at their house. They had walked about 8 miles in torrential rain for another village, just on the off chance their gran might be in. They were hungry and soaked through. Peter Dodds came through for the back of the shop, asking if everyone was alright. He looked at the children and told them they would have to leave if they weren't going to buy anything. Lisa looked like she was going to give him some back talk, but I spoke before she could. "It's cool, they'll be leaving in a minute," I said to Pete. Peter just saw 2 cheeky kids who you couldn't turn your back on. To be fair, they were. And without a history or context to their upbringing, it would be hard to show them any tolerance. And that's the thing, I suppose. Everybody has a reason and a story. Causality can be a bitch. If we're a product of our senses and we're defined by our experiences, these kids were lost. Later, I heard that Greg and Lisa were locked out for 3 days. Jessie had taken an overdose and had died in the house. They were walking the 8 miles between their house and Kelty, back and forth, trying to go home, but there was no one to let them in. All the while we were talking in the shop, the mum was lying dead. Our conversation in the shop continued for a short while longer. Lisa told me about her dad's death in a very nonchalant manner, whilst appearing to read the back of a box of water-soluble pencils. It was obvious they didn't recognise me and were unaware that I knew them. I told them that I had to get on. Lisa put the pencils down and asked if I could give them some money. I produced a handful of change from my pocket and offered it in their direction. Lisa took the money and quickly put it in her pocket. I opened the door for them. Taking her brother's hand, they walked towards me. As they passed, I said, "I hope your gran's in." They didn't answer. Hand in hand, they ran out into the rain. I've never seen them since. Lisa would be 24 now, and Greg would be 21. I wonder how they've got on.